Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And to help with that, well, I use an inspiring quote. And today's is so good. Let me set it up like this. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about getting older. And he said, well, you know, they say that life really starts after 40. And he said the rest of the quote. Life really starts falling apart after 40. He said it's like the check engine light came on for his body. This, that, and the other was starting to hurt and ache. And you know what? I've experienced a little bit of that. And yeah, it's not fun. In fact, it sets you up to kind of worry about, hey, what's next? You know, what else is going to go wrong? What else do I need to be watching out for? And you can find yourself in a state of worry all the time about even just your body as you get older. That's why I think this quote resonates with me so well. It's from Mary Oliver, who said, "Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang." You know what? We don't need to worry about what's next. We need to trust God that He has us. At the same time, yes, doing our part to make sure that we are taking care of our bodies in that instance, but not worrying so much that it keeps us from doing the things that bring us joy and fulfillment and that bring God praise. So I don't know if that's you today. Maybe you've been at a place where you've just kind of been worried to do anything. You just don't know what the future holds. And let's take it away from just, with our physical body and talk about just, with our everyday life. If I invest in that, is it going to pay off or is it just going to blow up in my face? If I love that person, is it going to turn into just this relationship where they come to me only when they need something? Or is this going to be a beneficial relationship for both of us? There are a lot of, thoughts, a lot of decisions to be made about how you move forward with relationships. But can I suggest something? You just love. Love like there's no tomorrow. You see, I came across another quote that almost made it as the inspiring quote of the day, and I'm going to go ahead and pop it in here. So you got a twofer this morning. And it comes down to love. Because the more you give it away, the more you have. So, remember that. Let's love each other today in whatever way we can. And you know what? Maybe that means loving the person that really gets on your nerves. Maybe it means looking at them in a different light, trying something different, not shying away from them, not avoiding, not coming up with excuses for why you can't do this, that, or the other. But let's operate in love today. Let's see what God does with that. I guarantee you He's going to do some amazing things. And hey, I'd love to hear from you this morning. So would you text me? Let me know what song you want me to play for you. 256-967-0885. Or tell me something big God's done in your life or something you could use help praying for. Okay? Look forward to hearing from you.
Oh Lord, you know I want a heart like yours. When I was down and bound, you met me on the floor.
Hey, thank you so much to the Cat family for reaching out and saying you would like to hear a song because I want to play it for you right now. So good morning to you, and thank you so much for texting me. And hey, I'd love to hear from you as well. Maybe I could play your request like I'm playing theirs. 256-967-0885. It's Brandon Lake.
All my words fall short. I got nothing new. How could I express all my gratitude?
Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for reaching out to me today. So Amanda said she wanted to hear a song. So let me see if I can get that pulled up for her. Whom Shall I Fear by Chris Tomlin. Yeah. Hey, that texting number is 256-967-0885. 0885. And I would love to continue hearing from all of you. Tell me where you're listening from, your name, and what song you want to hear. Or, you know what, maybe you got something big going on in your life. You want to talk about it. Well, I want to celebrate with you. Yeah, or maybe you got something pretty rough you're dealing with. I'd love to help pray about it. So 256-967-0885 is the number to text. Whom Shall I Fear by Chris Tomlin. Well, that's up right about now. Here you go, Amanda. Thanks again for reaching out. Again, that number to text, 256-967-0885.
You hear me when I call. You are my morning song.
You ever come across something that just arrests your attention? Yeah, I did the other day, and I want to read it to you. It's just that good. One day you'll realize that happiness is not what your house looks like, but how you love the people within its walls. Happiness is not finding success by a certain time, but finding something you love so much time itself seems to disappear. Happiness is not thinking you have earned the world's approval, but waking up each day and feeling so at peace within your own skin, quietly anticipating the day ahead, unconcerned with how you are perceived. Happiness is not having the best of everything, but the ability to make the best of anything. Happiness is knowing you did what you could with what you were given. Happiness is not something that comes to us when every problem is solved and all things are perfectly in place, but in the shining silver linings that remind us of the light of day is always there if we slow down enough to notice. Ooh, I love it. I love that. So, happiness. I hope you find it in each and every one of those ways and so many more. Thanks for being here this morning. Here's Rhett Walker, Man on the Middle Cross. He's the reason why we can be happy. He's the reason why we can have joy. It's because of his gift.
I heard the preacher talking about 3 wooden crosses upon a hill for everyone to see.
Right now it's 67 degrees in Boaz and in Arab. Let's check those temperatures across the rest of North Alabama. 68 in Bluntsville and Coleman. 69 in Scottsboro. But you see in Huntsville, they just happen to be, kissing that 70-degree mark. Ooh, nice. Feeling mighty fine out there, and I hope that you're having a great morning so far. Now, let me tell you a little bit about your word of life. It's from John 15, verse 12, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. This is my commandment. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. Oh, man. Think about that for a second. First off, who's saying that? Well, you got to dig in just a little deeper. John 15, verse 12. In fact, I'm going to do it right now in real time to show you how quick it can be. I'm going to go to BibleGateway.com, okay? Now it's pulling up on my computer, and here it is, John 15:12. Put that in the search bar. Just to show you how quick this can be. It doesn't take long at all. And if it's on your smart device, on your phone, then hey, there you go. All right, so it pulled up the King James Version, so here it is. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Okay, so I'm going to go to full chapter because I want to find out who exactly was talking here. I've got a pretty good idea, but I just want to make sure. Isn't that Jesus talking there? And if he loved us so much, wow, that is a challenge to love each other as he has loved us. But we can do it because he wouldn't challenge us to it unless it was doable. So, hey, just a reminder for you. Why don't you share that word of life with somebody? We've got it ready for you across all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, or Twitter, and TikTok, and it's always there at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. And yep, Jesus, the true vine. That's what the heading is at the top of John 15. So those are the words of Jesus. Sometimes that word of life, it just begs you to go ahead, dig in a little deeper. So Again, that word of life is found at John 15, verse 12. You ever look at social media and say, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could be a content creator. I wish I was that creative. I wish I could think up those ideas. Wow, that's just so amazing. And look at how many followers they have. Well, you know what? You are a content creator. You are creating content every single day. Might not be on social media, but you are creating content in your everyday life. But I think maybe we need to look at why we are content creators in the first place. And truth be told, I think you're going to love the answer to that question. Myron Golden is going to help us get to the middle of it right after Matthew West and Truth Be Told.
There's no failure, no fall, there's no sin you don't already know. So let the truth be told.
So what causes all of these amazing content creators to be so good at what they do? Well, I think that they've embraced their identity. What exactly does identity have to do with content creation? Well, I'm so glad you asked that question because it just so happens we're hardwired for content creation. And I think Myron Golden does this so well. I don't want to try to explain it myself. I want him to do it. So here, take a listen to what he has to say about it.
God is the ultimate content creator, and we are miniature versions of content creators, and we have to use his content to construct our content. Think about it. Genesis 1:1 says, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Cool. But in John 1:1, it tells us how he did it. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the same was in the beginning with God. And all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Him who? Him the Word. What is Word? Words are the building blocks for content. And if you think about it, the existential nature of the universe, the way it exists, is based on God's content. In fact, the contents, the things the world contains, the contents of the world were created by God's content. That's a mind-blowing thought.
Wow. And you know what else? Couple it with this. It's that as we are kids, we watch our parents, we model our lives after them. We try to repeat. We try to kind of mimic what they do. They say that is the most sincere form of flattery, trying to mimic, trying to go ahead and do that thing that they do. But it's something that we all do as kids. And if we're doing that as, well, we're looking at our Heavenly Father, we start to create content as well, and he empowers us to do it. It's just amazing to me. I hope you can think about that. Let it rock your world today. And see just how powerful you are because of him.
When the ground beneath my feet is shaking like a leaf, God, you're still good to me. When my hope is all but gone and I'm barely hanging on, God, you're still good to me.
'68 right now in Albertville and Coleman and Scottsboro and Bluntsville. It's 71 right now in Gunnersville and 70 in Huntsville. And your word of life today comes to you from John chapter 15, verse 12 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. This is my commandment. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. Ooh, that's a good one right there. Hey, why don't you share that one with somebody? We've got it ready for you across all of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, or Twitter, and TikTok. And it's always there at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I think maybe we need another song or two because I got to get everything ready for a car line competition. Yeah, we're going to be having some fun this morning, giving away some gift cards. And you know what? I met somebody yesterday as I was waiting for my food right there at Mount Fuji. in Arab. So glad that place is open back up. Well, I'm at Hot Rod Lincoln. You see, Lincoln is a little fella, but he's also heavily involved in the rodeo. Yeah, He is a sheep wrestler. It was so much fun talking with him. And I found out he loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this little guy plays Fortnite, and he's pretty good at it. So I'm hoping maybe I'll hear from Hot Rod Lincoln this morning. We'll find out, though. I'm not sure if he gets up quite this early, but we'll see. Maybe he'll call me. Maybe not. Maybe you'll call me. You know what? I look forward to hearing from you as well because, hey, I love giving away gift cards. And I love finding out who means a lot to you. So be ready to play at the top of the hour. Now, Lauren Daigle, and Hold On to Me, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show.
When the best of me is barely breathing, when I'm not somebody I believe in, hold on to me.
Okay, I need to make a clarification. I just told you that Hot Rod Lincoln was a sheep wrestler. Nope, not a sheep wrestler. He's a sheep fighter. I didn't get my terms right. I did a quick Google search and found out that sheep wrestling, not the same at all. So anyway, he's a sheep fighter. And that little guy was a lot of fun to talk to. He was even wearing a Tom and Jerry shirt. I got to ask him, have you watched Tom and Jerry? He told me yes. He has, but when asked what is your favorite cartoon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you know what? That was mine when I was his age too. Well, that and He-Man was pretty big back in the day. Oh, yeah.
These days my heart's always on the run. These days the world's spinning out of control.
I think it's about time for a bit of a happy dance. How about you?
You in the corner shaking in those boots.
Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn! All right, now let's crank that engine, then let's start that music so I can say, hey everybody, it's time to play the Carline competition. That's right, it's an opportunity for you to call in and win some gift cards. I got some questions. When you know the answer, you're gonna call me up, give me the right answer, and win not 1, not 2, but 3 gift cards. 1 to keep and 2 to give away to Gunnersville Chick-fil-A, Albertville Home Bakery, and the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. So are you ready to play my game? I sure hope so, because I got this question ready for you, and here it is. The fibula is a bone in which part of the human body? Is it A, the shoulder, B, the leg, C, the arm, or D, the neck? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Ooh, the fibula is a bone in which part of the human body? Is it A, the shoulder, B, the leg, C, the arm, or D, the neck? 256-505-0885 is a number to call, and it's right beside the, well, was that too much information if I were to give a hint? I don't have to, because there's my caller. Stay right there on the phone line with me while I start this song and I get your answer. It's Casting Crowns, and all because of Mercy. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Who am I talking to?
Summer.
All right, Summer. What you up to today?
Just driving to work.
Driving to work. Where do we work?
I work at Little Caesars and Center Point.
Oh, pizza.
Yeah.
Center Point. That's a little ways away. That's a bit of a drive from Gunnersville, Alabama. Do you live in Marshall County, or do you live down that way?
No, I live in Boaz.
Boaz. All right. Well, very cool. Do you enjoy making pizza and putting smiles on people's faces?
I absolutely do.
What is the overall vibe of people who come through the drive-thru to pick up their pizza? Are they happy or what?
Some of them are.
Okay. I think maybe
Not all of them.
I think maybe they forget the joy of pizza. I mean, come on, you got to be happy when you eat pizza. It's one of those things. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for what you do. You are a joy dealer. I'm happy when I'm picking up pizza. All right, so here we go. Here's your question. The fibula is a bone in which part of the human body? Is it A, the shoulder, B, the leg, C, the arm, or D, the neck?
Is it the leg?
Is that your final answer?
No, the arm.
No. I'm going to ask you again. Is that your final answer? Say yes.
Yes.
Congratulations to you. You just won 3 gift cards. What do you think about that?
I'm excited.
Sorry, I had to make you second guess yourself there for a second. I had to mess with you just a little bit. But yes, okay, so this is my favorite part of the whole thing. It's when I get to ask you, what two people are you going to share the love with today with a gift card?
I'm going to share them with one. Her name is Glory, and she runs the CWJC and Women's Job Corps in Gunnersville.
Yeah, I know Glory very well.
And she has just been a really big inspiration to me.
Wow.
And I just love her dearly.
Wow.
And then the other is Selena. She is one of our CR leaders at Rose Road Church of God, and she also has been a really, really big inspiration to me.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing the love here on the radio. I'm so glad you got some good people in your corner.
Oh, there are a ton of good people in my corner.
I got you. We all need that support, don't we?
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah.
We're better together.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for calling me. I hope you have the best day ever.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that is how it's done. Yes, the fibula is in the leg. The tibia and the fibula are down there. And the radius and the ulna are in the arm. Ask me why I know that, and I will tell you. 11th grade anatomy physiology class. I had a really hard teacher who just happens to be now the superintendent of Coleman County Schools, Shane Barnett. He was a great anatomy teacher. All right, so let's see here. I think it's time for question number 2. Would you like to try your hand at playing my game? Maybe winning some gift cards? Well, get ready to use your fingers, and you're going to have to use them a whole lot, like over and over and over again, because we're counting on this one. You may want to grab the calculator because it'll take a while to get to this number. So you ready for it? How many seconds are there in 3 hours? Are there 180, 21,600, 10,800, or 648,000 seconds in 3 hours? Ooh. 256-505-0885 is a number to call. And y'all are so quick this morning. Feeling froggy, are you? There's my caller. I'm going to capture that call. Stay right there on the phone line with me while I start the song. I'll get your answer. Micah Tyler, Emerson Day, people like us, right here on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. I have found out this morning that we've got some really smart 7th graders around here. I just talked to one of them who answered that car line competition question, you know, the really hard math problem. I didn't ask her if she used her fingers or not, but I bet she used a calculator. Or maybe she just did it in her head because she's just that smart. But you'll hear from her next.
I feel burning deep inside of me.
Were you wanting to play the car line competition?
Yes.
All right. What's your name?
Willow.
Okay, Willow. So are we headed to school right now?
Mm-hmm.
What grade?
7.
7th grade. All right, Willow. You're going to put your math skills to the test. Got a question here for you. How many seconds are there in 3 hours? Are there A, 180, B, 21,600, C, 10,800, or D, 648,000?
C.
C, 10,800?
Mm-hmm.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yes, it should be, because that is correct. Congratulations
Yay!
to you. Wow, 3 gift cards headed your way. And here's what I love about the whole thing. I get to hear from you. What 2 people are you going to bless with a gift card? And why do you love them so much?
My parents, and because they took care of me.
Okay. All right. Now, tell me something extra special about that dad of yours. Just something that really sticks out.
He's super funny.
Super funny. Are his jokes always funny?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Well, he's doing better than I am. Sometimes I crack a joke and my daughter's like, that was lame. Okay, so tell me something special about that mom of yours.
She also tells really good jokes.
Oh, really? She tells really good jokes?
Mm-hmm.
So she's a funny person. You got 2 funny parents. You lucked out.
Uh-huh.
Willow, I hope you have the best day ever at school. Is it going well so far this year?
Yeah, I like the teachers more than the 6th grade ones.
Okay, cool. So you're loving the teachers. That's great. Hey, I think you're setting yourself up for a really good year. So I hope you have some more fun today. Keep the fun rolling, all right?
I will.
All right. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
And that brings us to the end of today's car line competition. We had a blast. Oh my. But if you didn't get to play, well, I hope you call me up tomorrow and play then. All right. So we'll do it again at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And this morning at 8 o'clock, I'm going to have your chance to win 3. That's all I got left. 3 Alabama Adventure Splash Adventure passes for this weekend. The 8th of September is their last day of operation. So you've just got this weekend to use these things, and somebody stands a chance of winning them at 8 o'clock for Riddle Me This. So be here at 8 o'clock to play. All right. In case you have to step away from your radio, just a reminder, you can tune us in online. Just go over to 885jfm.com, click that On Now button, press play, and you are good to go. All right. Now, let's get to some ministry and business impact partners, some weather, some word of life, and then we'll have a drive time devotion coming up shortly.
This is Pastor Larry Walls with your Drive Time Devotion. A story is told of a man named Freddie Follow the Leader who went to the college that all his friends chose to go to. He pursued a history major because all of his friends were choosing that major. He took a job with a certain company because that's where his friends chose to work and they thought it was a good place to work. Well, Freddie decided to purchase a fine new large home because all of his college friends had just purchased one, and he bought a new car because the neighbors all had a new car. Now, before long, Freddie found himself in a deep financial trouble and he was sinking fast. One of Freddie's friends told him about a new multi-level sales company that he was part of and that he could make a killing and get out of debt very quick. So, of course, Freddie signed on, even though he had never sold anything in his life. His thoughts were, well, if my friends can do it, so can I. So Freddie went and took out a loan to get started, because this is how his friends all got started. Well, several months later, the company folded, and Freddie not only lost all the money he had invested, but also he lost his job. There had been time devoting too much of his time to doing what all of his friends were doing, and he lost track of everything. He lost his fancy new car and even his new house. And all those friends that Freddie had been following, well, they were nowhere to be found. Hebrews 13:5 tells us to be content with such things as you have. God created each of us with unique gifts and talents, and He has a unique plan for each of our lives. Pursue only what you know is right for you. That's your road to success, and it can't be traveled as Freddie Follow the Leader. Just know this, the grass may look greener on the other side of the fence, but somebody has still got to mow it. Pray with me. God, help us all to follow you in the road that you've laid for our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Reno County, Kansas, hanging out with us right now. I see that pin on my streaming map. Also, we got plenty of people right here in North Alabama, from Scottsboro down to Arab, Gunnersville, and Albertville. Our friend Joel Modis is hanging out with us down in Palm Coast, Florida. I hope you're having the best morning ever so far, Joel. And if you'd like to share, I don't know, maybe a dad joke with me, Joel, I'd be happy to see it over on the text. I even share it on the air. Might even have a bit of a rebuttal to come back with. So 256-967-0885. You already know that number, but just in case anybody else wants to get in on this, this is totally doable. 256-967-0885. The lamest dad joke. That's what I'm looking for, because the lame means the more funny. So anyway, it's supposed to make you cringe just a little bit. All right, let's get back to the music, and I'll have your drive time devotion coming up next. Got to let you in on what's happening right now over on the texts, because this is just too much fun. I've got to share it with you. So I kind of put that challenge out for some dad jokes, and I'm hoping to get a few here, but I'll tell you, got a little bit of a conversation going on with Pastor Larry Walls. You just heard him on the Drive Time Devotion. And he said, I'd tell you the rumor I heard about butter, but I don't want to spread it. Ooh, that's so good. Yeah, that's a cringeworthy dad joke. And I told him, that's bananas. Very appealing, like peeling a banana. Yeah, it's bad when you have to describe it, don't you? Anyway, so keep them coming, Pastor Larry. And hey, you went in on this little dad joke-a-thon we got going on right now? Yep, 256-967-0885 is the number to text. I want to see your dad joke. The best dad joke you got, okay? 256-967-0885. And, hey, I want to stick around. I want you to stick around because I've got a story coming up. about a teacher who witnessed something that wasn't so great that happened. A little bit of graffiti on the mirror, the bathroom mirror of all places, in permanent marker. This is not something any kid should do, but it's just amazing what Mr. Ike was able to get out of this, how it really hit him, and it hit him right in the feels. You'll have to stick around to understand what I'm talking about. So please be here. I'll have it up for you right after this song. Oh, and it's such a good song. Pat Barrett, Beautiful Life.
Oh, what a beautiful life. Oh, what a beautiful life. Every day is a gift from God.
So I'm all for artistic expression. I am. And if your kid is really artistic, you probably are too. I don't know what they do. Maybe they dance. My daughter dances all the time. She loves it. Maybe they draw. Ooh, there are some really gifted kids out there. But, that drawing should probably be relegated to the page and not to, the bedroom walls. Have you fought that fight yet? Yeah. Still a few marks that I've got to get the magic eraser a hold of from a couple years ago. It's behind some stuff, so it's not really at the front of my mind. But anyway, you don't want your kids, taking spray paint to any particular surfaces around town, right? Well, sometimes these kids, they're commissioned to do it, and I think that's amazing because we do have some really artistic kids. But where they really get their practice in is actually in the bathroom at school. Yeah, it could be in permanent marker. It could be, I don't know, kind of whittling away at the stall. Yeah, taking a few chips of wood out and putting their initials or whatever other things might need to be written on those walls. Mr. Ike, he is a teacher. And he's got quite a lot of stories that he shares with all of us from time to time. And he's got one about graffiti. And it's one of those things that it's not good for kids to do. But it's amazing how this really got his attention and put him right in his feels. Oh, I love this. Here, take a listen. See what you think about this.
Hello, my name is Matt. I'm a teacher and an author, and today's story is called Graffiti. I was teaching 6th grade, and one of my students let me know there was some vandalism in the boys' bathroom. It's on the mirror, Mr. Ike. It's pretty funny. I'll show you. I've been a teacher for a while, and I've seen my fair share of vandalism in the bathroom. Full self-portraits, urinal cakes where they shouldn't be, so I was prepared for the worst. But I didn't find anything like that. Instead, above the sink on the mirror, drawn in permanent marker, was a mustache. Oh, Mr. Ike, you should line your face up with it. So I did, and I was immediately taken aback. Staring back in the mirror wasn't me. I mean, it was me, but it looked exactly like my grandfather. The way the hair whipped over and the way my eyebrows automatically matched the mustache, there he was. And here I am. My family did not grow up in close proximity to my grandparents, but the time I spent with them was memorable. I see so much of myself in so many aspects of them, and one of the best pieces of advice came from my grandfather when I asked him how I should go about raising a family. His words, "Love your family, Matt. Everything else will just kind of fall into place." So that's what I do. I love my family, and occasionally, I'll grow a mustache too.
I love that story. I had to share it with you. Hope it put a smile on your face too. Who knew graffiti in the bathroom could put a smile on your face?
I've been to the bottom, I've been to the edge, and I've been down that road that led to failure and regret. Oh, but I've been to the one who wrote his love for me in red, and I've been changed.
Temperatures across North Alabama are kind of stuck. They've been here for about an hour now. 68 in Boaz, 69 in Arab. It's 70 right now in Huntsville, and you don't get a lot warmer than that across North Alabama. Yeah, so I'm not complaining. I'm just reporting to you very mild temperatures out there. Hope you're enjoying them. Your forecast is brought to you by One Team Heating and Cooling, servicing the Marshall County area with sales, maintenance, and repair. They're online at oneteamhvac.com, and their phone number is 256-660-0950. Now your word of life from John chapter 15, verse 12, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. This is my commandment. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. Ooh, from the mouth of Jesus. Think about that for a second. How much did he love you? How much did he do for you? And how many things did he do for the people around him in the day that he was here on this earth in bodily form? Quite a lot of stuff. He met them right in the middle of their mess, and he loved him through it. I know it's really hard for us to do, but it is doable. Why? Well, because he challenged us to do it. So, hey, you know what? Maybe look at that scripture in a different light today. Take it as a challenge, and let's see if we can't just make that happen. Why don't you share that word of life as well with somebody today? It's a great way of sharing your faith. We got it for you across all of our socials and at the top of our website. That's 885jfm.com. Well, I think I need to share with you a little story because, you see, we were having this little dad joke-a-thon. We've been having some fun with some dad jokes, but Charlotte Pesnell, our resident school bus driver, well, she submitted a story of sorts. She says, "Hey, Steve, it may not be a dad joke, but my husband told me this story about a boy who went to church with his grandpa. His papa told him he'd have the best time and learn about Jesus, and he was just going to love it. After Sunday school, the boy sat in preaching service with his papa, and on the way home, Papa asked the boy if he had a good time. The boy told Papa they sang songs and played games and learned about Jesus, and he did love it. Papa asked what his favorite part was, and the boy responded, I like when they pass the takeout plate around. I got $15, Papa. How much did you get?" Oh, bless his heart. Papa's got some splaining to do. Anyway, those kids, they bring us a lot of joy. Keep us on our toes at the same time, right? Thank you, Miss Charlotte, for sharing that with us. That's so good. All right, more great music headed your way. I got time for one song and then your chance to win a family 3-pack to Alabama Adventure Splash Adventure. It's the last passes that I have, and your opportunity for Riddle Me This is coming up next. First, a little music to help get you in the right mood. This will set you up for a pretty good day. Just think about the truth in this song. If I got Jesus, woo, I got it all.
I've had $1 to my name. I've had friends that walked away, and I've even lost myself a time or two.
It's hard to believe it, but here we are, the last day for water park giveaways. I've got a family 3-pack to Alabama Adventure Splash Adventure. That's all that's all I got left. 3, okay? Sorry I don't have 4, but I got 3. That's an amazing way to end the summer, but you got to use them by, well, Sunday. Sunday is their last day. So, you want to play some Riddle Me This? Keep in mind, if you've already won this year, you can't play again because we're trying to share the love with as many people as possible. So keep that in mind. Also, if you think that the riddle's too hard, that's okay. I'm your phone a friend. Call me anyway. Here we go. I'm not a blanket, yet I cover the ground. A crystal from heaven that doesn't make a sound. What am I? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Riddle me this. I'm not a blanket, yet I cover the ground. A crystal made from heaven that doesn't make a sound. What am I? 256-505-0885 is the number to call, and I'm waiting on your call right now. And we get really excited when we see this stuff around Alabama because it's not very often that we get to see a whole lot of these things. But they are beautiful, and they bring us happiness, and they might make us just a little bit cold. 88.5 JFM, good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain. What's your name?
My name's Larry.
All right, Larry. Are you feeling pretty lucky today? You think you got the answer to my riddle?
Yes, I hope I do.
All right, here we go. Riddle me this. I'm not a blanket, yet I cover the ground. A crystal from heaven that doesn't make a sound. What am I?
Frost.
Frost. You know what? That's a pretty good answer. Actually, think a little past frost. It's a little colder outside, and you can make a delicious dessert with this.
Snow.
A snowflake. That's exactly right. Congratulations, Larry. You won the last family pack that I got to the water park. Congratulations, man.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
Why do you listen to us, Larry?
Great music and good people.
Aw, man. Thank you for those kind words. You're the reason why we're here. And that's how it's done. The last family pack to Alabama Adventure Splash Adventure. 3 going out the door. So glad we were able to have some fun this summer season, and what a way to end the summer. This weekend, having some fun, Alabama Adventure Splash Adventure. Hey, you know what? I look forward to doing this every summer. So we'll look forward to making those partnerships again for the next year. And I'm working on some other partnerships you might be a little happy about coming up here very shortly because, you know, it's almost fall time. That means that there are corn mazes and there are corn cribs and there are different rides and different things to do at some of these local pumpkin patches. So be listening for your chance to win some passes to maybe a couple of them, okay? I'm working on it. All right, back to the music that you love. I got some Mercy Me featuring Sam Wesley, which is the lead singer Bart Millard's son. They're singing On Our Way right here, right now on the Lifeline Morning Show.
Can't believe we've come this far and it feels just like getting started. Somehow we're still running like those kids back then.
I love playing great music for you here on the radio, but I love telling you the story behind the songs because there's a lot of truth wrapped up in all of these lyrics set to music. And, you know, the more I've thought about it, the more I've realized that these songs are basically the gospel in musical form. That's the reason why they carry so much power. And there's an anointing. Some of these people who write these songs, it's like you can't think of stuff like this on your own. I think it has to be inspired by God. You know, it's just so good. And it's able to get you. It's able to really resonate with you because it's so true. It helps you get through hard times, helps you remember everything's going to be okay, helps you know you're not alone. So many ways that this music touches our hearts. But there's a particular song I want to focus on right now. It's Too Good to Not Believe. It's by Brandon Lake. He recently sat down with, on a podcast. It's the George Janko Show. And he was talking a little bit about the story behind that song. And I want you to hear it straight from him. This is going to encourage your faith. Take a listen.
We had a lady one night in the middle of my set. We start praying for people and someone's bawling their eyes out and like uncontrollably crying, like screaming. We're like, what's going on over there? My buddy has the mic at this point. I'd step back for a second and he goes over and she's like hovering over this lady. She's going, you have to hear her story. There's this young woman who's like kneeling at the altar, just bawling her eyes out. We're like, okay, like she can't even talk. So it was like, can you share her story? And she's like, she was in an accident 20 years ago and she had metal rods in her legs, and so she's never been able to bend her legs since then. So she's stuck. Her legs are stuck straight. Meanwhile, I'm looking down at her.
She's kneeling at the altar.
She said her greatest prayer since then is that she would one day be able to kneel in the presence of God and worship on her knees. And she is uncontrollably weeping and crying out and just worshiping. We were shaken. Like she bent her legs. There were metal rods. This is why I have a song that I said, I've seen metal plates dissolve.
Wow.
I've seen cancer disappear. I've seen metal plates dissolve. Don't you tell me he can't do it. Don't you tell me he can't do it. I've seen families reunited. I've seen mental health restored. I've seen addicts finally free. It's a song called Too Good to Not Believe. And it's my personal journey of the testimonies. Like each one of those have a name, but they're real people. One woman on our tour, this was after the night ended and there was still prayer going on outside of the show. There was a lady who brought her daughter and she's blind in one eye. This is the only time I've actually ever seen this. And several of our friends prayed for her, and it was the last guy who prayed for her. All of a sudden, she starts screaming, and she's like, go get my daughter, go get my daughter. She's like, she needs to know I can see again. She's like, I can see. And she's literally like, my eyesight is coming back. And like her eyesight was restored.
Are you serious?
We had a lady who came in a walker with her grandson and her husband. We prayed for her, and all of a sudden, she stood straight up. Her grandson said, I've never known my grandma to stand up straight. I've never seen her like that. She's always been stuck bent over. She went to the bathroom. She came out hysterically laughing and just rejoicing. She's like, I peed by myself. I didn't need help. Like, it's the crazy thing. So expectancy is the breeding ground for miracles. Mm-hmm. If you want to see it, at least start asking God for it.
That's good. I think we need to hear that song now. Here it is, Brandon Lake, Too Good to Not Believe. That's the God we serve, the one who can fix all the problems. miraculously in just an instant.
I've lived stories that have proved your faithfulness. I've seen miracles my mind can't comprehend.
Now, I want to give a big apology to Richard Udi because he requested a song a while ago, and I still have not played it. So I am sorry I haven't gotten it on the air for you yet, sir, but I am going to do it right about now. He wants to hear I Can Only Imagine by Mercy Me. And here you go, sir. That's a good one. Thanks for the request. And I would love to play your request as well, just like I'm doing for Richard. Just text me, 256-967-0885. I look forward to hearing from you.
I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side.
I just got an opportunity to step outside of the studio and enjoy this amazing weather we're having. It feels so good outside. Larry stopped by and picked up his water park pass. So glad that they're going to go have some fun at Alabama Adventure Splash Adventure. It was really nice meeting Larry as well. So, sir, I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you for telling me some of your story, man. It means a lot. All right, I've got some more great music for all of us. How about some Tasha Layton with Chris Brown and Worship Through It? Right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. This time of the year is so busy because, well, everything's ramped back up, right? Kids are back in school and sports are going full throttle. I don't know, maybe you've got a kid playing football or maybe in band or maybe a cheerleader or on the dance team or the color guard or maybe volleyball. There's all kinds of stuff happening, even soccer. And you know what happens? Well, there's a lot of need for parents to really get involved and coach these kids. But can we be honest real quick? Sometimes there's a lot of drama that is attached to all of those positions because you're having to kind of navigate those waters for all the parents of all the kids on your team, and it can get kind of hairy from time to time. So I came across a story of one lady who said, yeah, I told my hubby it was time for him to hang up the whistle because I can't handle this anymore. And I wonder if maybe you're in the same boat. Ooh, stick around and I'll share some more of that story with you. And I think you'll enjoy it. I've been in that position too, being a coach. It is a lot of fun with the kids. It can be not so much fun with the parents. Luckily, that's not been my experience, but I've seen stuff that goes on in the stands. And yeah, sometimes us parents can get a little too serious about what's happening out there. Stick around. Let's talk about real life for a minute. Let's talk about our kids and how much joy they bring us. They do, don't they? And we want them to excel at everything, especially the sports they're a part of, because you know what? There might just be a scholarship in their future. But sometimes I'm afraid we get a little too anxious on the sidelines. In fact, I came across a story of one mom who has told her husband, hey, I think maybe it's time for you to stop coaching. Now, what brought her to this point? Well, here, let me explain. From her words. Now, this is from an anonymous author, so I have no name to go with this, but I think you'll relate. She says, my husband has been coaching youth sports since my son turned 4. What started as glorified babysitting with silly camp-like games when the kids were toddlers has morphed into a highly competitive game with sideline parenting drama 10 years later. And while the time commitment, practice, planning, and kid dynamics can make this volunteer position stressful, the real breaking point is that I simply no longer have the mental bandwidth for the youth sport parent drama. And so I'm finally making him hang up his whistle for good. Despite all of his best efforts to avoid the fray, as a volunteer coach, he seems unavoidably the target of a lot of frustration and disappointment. If he does equal playing time, he's called a soft serve and told that elite players need to dominate the field for a win. If he does talent-based playing time, parents of less developed players express their concerns about their kids' athletic development and self-esteem. It's impossible to make everybody happy. No matter what he does, there's after-practice chats, phone calls, and emails. It leads to extra planning and long, thoughtful conversations about conflict navigation, and honestly, I'm tired of it. Because it doesn't just affect him as the coach, it affects our whole family. These silly sports-related dramas become mood dictators and topics of late-night conversation. It affects my relationship with parents of kids on the team, and since I know so many of these frustrated parents talk so openly and passionately about this stuff at home, putting their child's sports records and performances at the top of their family priority list, I worry about how this might affect my son's relationship with his teammates, and that is definitely a stress I would like to take off of my plate. And selfishly, I need my husband on the sidelines with me, because while I already find it intolerable to be around a bunch of adults yelling at me about a children's game, now they're yelling at me about my husband too. Instead of having a sane confidant next to me while I endure the chorus of voices reprimanding their sons about their supposed lack of effort or intensity, I'm alone. I'm done with this solo mission. The saddest part is that my husband is an excellent youth coach. He cares about all the right things: character building, having fun, and working together. Couple that with a unique understanding of sports and the ability to explain and teach young kids effectively, and he just does it right. Oh, and he loves it, like, a lot. But this year, when I finally sat him down for a pretty serious conversation about the downsides of coaching, he agreed, because all the character traits that make him such a great coach are the same ones that make it so difficult for him to tune out all the noise and drama that parents bring into the equation. And at this point, he's just as frustrated and burnt out as I am. So this season, he's stepping away from his coaching role, and although I feel sad for the numerous young boys who will no longer have access to his kind and effective youth coaching style, I'm hoping to regain a bit of family sanity. And as for dealing with the parent sideline nonsense without the coaching component, well, there are earplugs for that. Whoa. Has so much ever been said in such a short amount of time? Because I felt every bit of that. How about you? Yeah, I'm not even coaching now. I used to. I coached for a while, a couple seasons actually. And yes, there's a lot of drama that goes on. There's a lot of keeping up with a lot of things. So, hey, I just wanted to pass that along to you. If you're feeling that way, you are not alone. And maybe it's time to take a look at how we do this moving forward, you know? Maybe we got to set some boundaries. Maybe we just got to decide, hey, it's time to let somebody else do it. I don't know. It's something to definitely pray about. Okay? All right. Thanks for being here. I'm so glad we can do life together. Now that I got you all sad and bummed out, let's get you happy again. Let's dance a little bit, shall we? It's We the Kingdom, and won't he do it? Yes, he will. He'll even smooth out that drama.
When I can't see in front of me, and I don't know what to do, I lift my head and remember that my God will come through. Said, won't he do it? Yes, he will.
Are you feeling a little nostalgic? Well, I'm glad that you're in that mood, because we're about to reminisce a little bit. We are. After this song, it's Zach Williams and Looking for You. We are going to have this day in history. It's time for us to, remember a few things. Maybe celebrate some milestones. And I don't know, maybe there'll be a challenge in it for you. So stick around. But first, enjoy this song. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM.
All the times that I worked hard because I believed that life could have meaning through things I achieved. But you knew I was looking for you.
Good morning, and welcome to This Day in History, a chance for us to look back on yesteryear and celebrate the milestones that have been achieved and the movers and the shakers who've gotten us this far. Are you ready for This Day in History? On this day in 1781, Felipe de Neva founds Los Angeles, California. The city's full name, I'm going to try this, but I cannot speak Spanish. El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles de Porciuncula, which roughly translates, according to Google, to this, the town of Our Lady, the Queen of the Angels of the River Porciuncula. So there you go, which makes it the longest and shortest place names in the world. How cool is that? All right, on this day in 1882, I know I butchered that. On this day in 1882, the Edison Electric Illuminating Company fires up its first central generator, supplying current to about 800 light bulbs in New York. And just like that, wow, there was a light. Electric light. Flip the switch. On this date in 1888, American inventor George Eastman patented the Kodak camera, the first to use roll film instead of glass plates. Users sent the entire camera to Kodak for processing. You know, I used to work at the photo lab at Walmart. It was really a lot of fun developing film, but they didn't send in the whole camera unless it was one of the disposables. Don't see many of those anymore. All right, on this day in 1802, Marcus Whitman was born, the American pioneer and missionary who helped the United States secure the Oregon Territory. On this day in 1919, Howard Morris was born, American comedian, actor, voice of animated cartoon characters. You might know him best as Ernest T. Bass. It's me, it's Ernest T. from the Andy Griffith Show. How cool is that? Yeah, he was also the voice of many cartoons. I did a quick search because I love finding out stuff like this, and it turns out that he was part of the Jetsons, Garfield and Friends, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Cow and Chicken, The Flintstones, The Archie Show, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and so many more. Yep, so he's a pretty interesting guy, born in 1919. And then in 1957, Fran Drescher was born. Oh, I got to do my Fran Drescher impression. You ready? Mr. Sheffield. Makes my wife laugh. Anyway, I like watching The Nanny. That brings us to the end of this day in history. So, hey, let me do this. I've got to close the book real quick. Here, you can hear it. Now, I need to tell you something. You are making history every single day. And whether or not your history ends up in a book like I'm holding in my hand right now, it doesn't really matter because it is going to be written on the hearts of people around you and how you make them feel, how you interact with them, and how you love them. So remember that today. And I want to challenge you, and I'm challenging myself. Let's make good history today. Sound good? All right. Thanks for being here. And thanks for taking my challenge. Now, I feel like we're going to have a good day. Here's Forrest Frank to sing about it.
I'm about to have a good day. No matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me. Birds are singing praise.
I've been following this guy for over a year now over on the socials, and I am so happy that I have because he's got some amazing things to talk about. His name is Brian Trent from Hampton, South Carolina. He pastors Lighthouse Church. He lives there with his family, and they always just bring amazing videos to the socials. Likely wherever you do your socials, you'll be able to find them. Just type in Trent Tribe. But what does he have for us today? Well, he's going to take us back to Jonah and the whale in a way that you've probably never heard it before. He does such a good job with this. Take a listen.
I was reading in the book of Jonah the other day, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I think it might encourage you today because God had told Jonah to go to Nineveh, and he said, nope, I went that away. You know the story, he got on a boat, got in the sea, big storm came, they said, it's your fault, tossed him over, big fish said, whoop, and then the big fish said, on dry land. That's the story. But you know, when Jonah was supposed to go the first time, he was a man with a sermon. But the second time, he had gone through some stuff. Hear me out today. It was his mistakes. But God was faithful to see him through it all. God's grace was sufficient to bring him back to a place to give him a second chance at this thing. And now he's not just a man going with a sermon, but he's a man that's got a testimony too. And see, I don't know the details of everything he preached, but I can tell you this. I believe that his testimony was part of that sermon because these people in Nineveh worshiped a fish god. And Jonah had just experienced God moving through a fish to get him to that place. So the very thing they worshiped was the very thing God actually used to get him back over to Nineveh. Listen, I don't know your story completely, but I can tell you this. You've got a testimony. And God has seen you through some stuff. He's been faithful. His grace has been sufficient. And it's time that you begin to share your story with people around you, because it might be the very thing that sparks revival in Nineveh. Love you guys.
Okay, so were you just rocked by that as well? Because I'd never heard of who the people in Nineveh worshipped before. I don't think I've ever heard that preached in a sermon. And he just touched on it. So during Jonah's time, the people of Nineveh believed in a divinity who sent messages to them by a person who rose out of the sea as part fish and part man. That brings the story to a brand new light, doesn't it? Because Jonah was just spit out on the beach by the fish. Goodness gracious. That's just amazing to me. God knew exactly what he was doing. And you know what? I would venture to say he knew exactly what Jonah was going to do. I mean, he knows the end from the beginning anyway. So, wow. That story played out just like it was supposed to. I never knew. I never knew that part of it. That's why I love following this guy. He's always got some amazing stuff that blows my mind. Oh, in case you want to go check it out for yourself, you know, that whole story of Jonah and the whale. It's there. It's right between Obadiah and Micah in the Old Testament of the Bible. So go check it out. Yeah, it's not very long either. Let's see. It's got 4 chapters. That's it. And hey, if you want to dig a little deeper into a Bible story, might I suggest using blueletterbible.org. It tells you some of the root meanings of the words, gives you a concordance, dictionaries, expository dictionaries, all kinds of cool stuff to help you do an in-depth study on what you're reading and understand it a little better. So blueletterbible.org. But that guy right there, I'm so glad we get to play his content here on the show. And you can find him over on the socials. Just type in Trent Tribe wherever you do your socials. Okay? Sound good? All right, back to the music. Matthew West, Don't Stop Praying. Right here, right now.
What's your impossible? Your I need a miracle. What's got you barely hanging by a single thread?
If we're being honest, it's getting a little harder to navigate. It just is. I'm talking about the parking lot. Yeah. Ever happen to you? Forget where you park? Well, a little story coming up for you. It might be a little too relatable. We'll find out, though. So stick around. First, here's a song, Unspoken, what he says about you.
You had a light till somebody stole it. The words that they said cut you like a knife. They called you a name, you started to own it. You hear the echoes in the dead of night.
Well, I do believe it's time to hear from Eddie. You know Eddie from the Holler? Yeah, he's got a little story for us today about navigating that parking lot. Have you noticed that things get a little weird when you go to the store? I mean, you have a lot on your mind, right? Maybe you've got a list, you got to find the list. Maybe it's on your phone. For me, I don't like carrying my wallet around, right? So lots of times I leave it in my truck. But when I go to Walmart, I got to have it because I can't use Apple Pay at the register. So I'd go ahead and have to turn around. Right about the time I get to the door, I realize I don't have my wallet. And I turn around and go get it from the truck because I've been there before where I'm checking out and, oh, I forgot my wallet. Hold on one second. Ooh, that's not a fun place to be. It's like you're apologizing to the people behind you. I am so sorry. I'll be right back. It hasn't happened often, but it's happened maybe a couple times. Anyway, but this I think is something that happens to us because we have so many things on our minds, and it may happen more in frequency. Well, the older we get, I don't know. Maybe you've experienced this. But here, I'll let Eddie tell you what happened to him.
So my car got stole this morning, or so I thought, because we come here and set everything up this morning, and I had to go get some sunglasses at the Walmart, because I ain't got no sense, and I got in the ocean, lost mine yesterday. But anyway.
Been here a whole 30 minutes?
Been here a whole 30 minutes, lost them. Anyway, get in the car, the GPS says 2.9 miles. I drive 2 miles, and then it says 4.4 miles. And Anyway, I get there. I go in. I buy my sunglasses. I come back out, and I'm checking notifications. I'm just walking down across the parking lot, and I go straight out the door, straight up the aisle where I park, and get all the way to the end of the aisle. My car's gone. And I thought, I know I parked over here. I turned around and I looked and I walked back down through there, and I thought, well, maybe I parked on the other side. So
You didn't have your little helper.
I didn't have my little helper with me. And I walked over to the other side, went all the way down through there, got my fob out of my pocket, hit the button, nothing. Walked back across the parking lot, got my fob out of my pocket, hit the button, heard a horn blow, and I thought, hey, there it is. Walked all the way back out through there, nothing, no car. So I get back, I turned around and started back, get the fob out, hit the button, and the car right beside me is horn blowed. It's in my wife's car, not my car. There's some old people that don't need to be left alone in strange cities. And apparently
Without a helper, especially.
Apparently I am one of them. That's telling you what.
On vacation at the beach with his wife, and I'm sure you could hear the breeze in the background. You got to have your sunglasses at the beach, but yeah, forgetting what car you're in. That's happened to me before too. It's always just a startling thing. It's like, what? That looks just like my wife's. Oh, that's right. I drove my wife's car today. So funny. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Glad we can laugh about these little things, these little senior moments that we have. It's all good. Hey, you know what? I'm just happy to be here. I just did turn another year older, so I'm getting closer and closer to being older and older. And I've noticed a few things changing, but nothing too bad just yet. I'm thankful. So anyway, back to the music. Toby Mac, Nothing Sweeter, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. This song is a song about, well, experience.
There's been so many times I got it so wrong, and a couple that I got it just right. I've seen the view from the top of the world and the sorrow by the bitter graveside.
Well, the time has come for me to bid you adieu, but before I do, I'd like to share with you an inspiring quote. In fact, some might say it's the most inspiring quote of the day. And to be honest with you, when I started this off this morning at 6 o'clock, I just gave you a piece of a poem. Yeah, by Mary Oliver. I want to read the whole poem to you this time. And the inspiring quote is at the very end. Here, take a listen to this. I love it. I Worried by Mary Oliver. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it, and I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, lockjaw, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. I love the sentiment behind this poem because we can get in our head about all kinds of stuff. We can worry until it completely immobilizes us. I mean, we just become frozen with fear. And we don't have time for that. This life is so short. We have got to live it to the fullest. So let's put that fear to the side. Why? Well, because we know we're not alone. We know the very one who has overcome death itself. So what is there to be afraid of? If God is for us, who can be against us? I'm going to read that quote one more time at the very end. Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. I hope that you can do that today. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but just look at all the times God has brought you through and how far you've come. And I know you're probably facing something right now. You might not even know if there's a way out. But again, look at all the times that God has brought you through. Do you think He's going to fail you now? No. So hold your head up high. Let's keep moving forward. Let's stop worrying and let's start living to the fullest. Sound good? Thanks for being here. I am so glad that you chose to hang out with me this morning. And I want to remind you, I put these shows up as podcast episodes. This morning's episode will be up on Spotify and Apple Podcast at 10:30. So you can go and check it out and subscribe if you'd like. Share it with a friend, a family member. Maybe you heard something today that you think somebody else needs to hear. Well, would you please share this episode with somebody today? I greatly appreciate it. We're just trying to make everybody's day a little bit better. The more people we can reach, the more people we can help. And hey, we've been doing it now for 29 years. Oh, we're celebrating it this month. Thank you so much for being a part of our story. Now, time for a little bit of Brandon Heath, and I'm not who I was. I'll see you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another Lifeline Morning Show.